Hello, family. This is Joshua. Joy's over reading a book, but this is we took a bike ride in order to go for a hike, and the bike ride kind of spiraled. But no, just gonna give a walkthrough here about what you're seeing, kind of how Colorado's working, how it's going, and overall, it's been an absolutely incredible time. We've been loving it out here. So, for starters, we're leaving from the apartment. Ramblewood is a very large apartment complex area. There's probably 30 or so buildings throughout the whole thing, and nice people so far. No complaints. We've got a garden plot. Got my first sprouts in my pre-plant today, so that'll be coming together pretty soon. And yeah, so the path we're going to take here is we're going to get on the main road by us, which is LaPorte Avenue. Then take that and then hunker down onto a different little side street. It's got a much better bike lane than LaPorte. So we've just got to do a quick little quarter mile down here.
Yeah, you can go right.
And yeah. So Fort Collins is extremely bike friendly. Most every road has a bike lane. You can see the it's denoted very clearly for where the bikes can be, where they should be. And then if you need to make a turn, you basically treat yourself like a car. So you merge into the appropriate lane and then go from there. So we just got to get down here. There's a little construction in the bike lane, so it's going to feel dicey, but it's totally fine. The drivers here are super respectful to bikes.
Not sure.
I've got the audio and the video turned down a little bit for the biking parts. Joy and I didn't do a lot of talking, so... So yeah, this first piece, ducking onto a side street, it's called Mountain. We're going to take that kind of into town a little ways and drive past where I work, Clay Pot, and then onto the CSU campus. So overall, it's about a 15-minute bike ride to where I need to be, and 20 minutes for Joy. So this first section is about 20 minutes of us just showing you the sights around the apartment. So pretty, so pretty. Fort Collins is actually like Tree City, Colorado, or something crazy. And it's just got these beautiful old trees everywhere. So you'll see almost every road is lined with just gorgeous old trees. So anyways, we duck right for a quick second, just to get one road over onto Mountain, get off of LaPorte. And then Mountain, like I said, it's got a much better bike lane. You'll see it's a very, very wide road, very little traffic down it. Lots of biking, so. One of the nice things here about Mountain, apparently my headphones are making noise. One of the really nice things about Mountain here is on our right is actually City Park. Huge park, beautiful park. Baseball fields, fishing pond, a giant community pool with a water slide. It's like a mini Michigan's Adventure almost. Absolutely huge city park, beautiful park, and you'll see over on the right, that's baseball fields. And this is the crossroad of Bryan and Mountain, or Bryant Mountain, something like that. Here you can see we've got a really nice bike lane, plenty of room. And the street is significantly wider than you'd think here too. Fort Collins has a volunteer-run trolley. I think you pay $1 to ride it, and it runs from Old Town all the way down here. A couple other places too. But that can be used as transportation. I don't know if we ever will, but cool old trolley system. You'll see a lot of these houses on the right. Joy and I actually took a walk, and there are a couple for sale, so we picked up the flyers just because we were curious. They're not very large houses, but on average they're around in the $400,000 to $600,000 range. So, very expensive real estate in town here. And I know I look really tall right now, hovering above my wife, but I've got the camera mounted on top of my bike helmet, so I've got almost an extra 8 or 10 inches above me. So, my view is a little different than what you guys are seeing. So on the left right now, they've got a couple different large supermarkets, but then it's this mini mart called Beavers. Super interesting little market, but
Feel good to be out?
really nice people that were in it. A ton of local food in there, so almost everywhere we go we see signs for doing local first, supporting local businesses and stuff like that. Beavers carries a ton of that. The crossroad we're at right now is Mountain and Shields. Shields is one of the main roads that runs north-south through town here. So the other thing Fort Collins does that's really cool is they've got bike trails that run large amounts of the city. So there's one that runs and follows the Poudre River, which is to the north. We've got another one that runs directly through the middle of town. That's primarily for college campus kids. But that's the one Joy and I are heading to right now. Then there's one that runs kind of east-west called Spring Creek Trail, and that one runs through a lot of the natural areas on the south end of town. So what we're doing is basically hopping through town to get on campus, and then we're going to catch Mason Trail and just take that a long ways south, way further south than we anticipated. We'll take Mason Trail and eventually catch Fossil Creek Trail, which is another east-west trail, and that's going to get us to our final destination. My wife is a stickler for rules, so bike law says we stop at all stop signs, so we lose all momentum and we stop at every stop sign. It's a good time, it's exhausting, but we're safe, so that's what's important. Mother, we're safe, I promise. You'll see how many cars we go by and how many of them are Subarus. It's pretty much the car of choice out here. Good on gas, but still, yeah, plenty of get up and go for the winter. So you see Subarus everywhere. Everybody's got outdoor gear mounted on vehicles. Huge outdoor town. Everybody has something to say about being outdoors around here. Another four-way, and now we're officially starting to get into more of the business aspect of Fort Collins. You'll see we got a lot of these big towers are for the banks. So it's their big corporate offices all up in there. And then directly ahead of us, if we were to go...
You lost your chain.
I thought my wife lost her chain.
Fine.
She didn't.
Fine. Yeah, you're good.
So if we were to go about 2 or 3 more blocks forward right now, we would be starting to hit into the corner of Old Town. But we're turning down Howe's. This leads us past where I work and then directly onto campus. So
Thought you lost your chain there.
yeah, so you'll see now everything is kind of, we've gone from housing. A lot of these, even if they look like houses, are actually more businesses. So I said Joy was going to lose her chain, and now she magically has. So quick teach my wife how to fix a chain that fell off.
Alright.
You ever put it back on?
Nope.
Okay. You got a tensioner right here.
Okay.
You can pull it way, way forward here. Okay.
Can you just put it back in?
Yep.
I
Yep. And you retension it back down. Verify that you're on everywhere else. Wipe your hands, and that's it.
All right. You'll hear me mention it, but there's a red brick building coming up here, and that's going to be where I work. Clay Pot Creative on house between Mulberry and Magnolia. So if you need to figure out where we are, that's about it. We're right across from this giant tower of housing for college kids. And you'll see me look here and tell you that I'm looking at it.
There's Clay Pot.
So that's where I'm working, about a 15-minute bike ride. So super nice. It's 2.5 miles to and from work. You can see we did a vast majority of it there on mountain, and that was really, really easy, nice biking. So very, very slick little commute to work. Now we're gonna go a block further south here on Howes. We're at the corner of Howes and Mulberry right now. We're going to go a block further south and go right into the oval on campus. When we were coming back, there was a whole bunch of high school kids in prom get-up. So we assume it was a prom last night. And everybody was out taking pictures and stuff like that, so kind of fun to see. And you'll see here, going on to campus, everything changes to focus for the bikes. Cars kind of take secondary. They have to yield to bikes pretty much everywhere on campus, so we'll actually take over the lane. My wife does it. I make a mistake and tell her not to, but she does it anyways, so she was right. I was wrong. I love my wife. But yeah, we'll take over the car lane and then hop down onto campus, and we are the vehicles around campus. This is all housing. It's got college kids in them. Every house around here is rented out by groups of 12 college kids.
Not onto campus. Oh.
Yeah, my wife was right.
My wife is smarter than me.
All right. So this is officially like the main campus. We've kind of left the housing areas. You'll see all of these buildings. On the right is like statistics, mathematics, stuff like that. And we're riding through the oval right now. Pretty obvious if you're looking at a map about where we are. Came off a house onto the oval, past a ton of schooling, and further, if we were to dive off of the oval to the right, we go into a student center. Joy and I have walked through that whole thing. There's all the knickknacks you could possibly want, food, the whole 9 yards. It's just a little bit to the right. But we are going to exit the oval going left to catch the Mason Trail for bikes.
Bikes exempt. No, the bikes are exempt here.
So it's a one-way, but it's posted that bikes are exempt from the one-way status, so
Good to know.
we're going to hop on this. Beautiful campus. Really excited to see it here this summer. Apparently in 2 weeks or so, all the college kids are pretty much done, and Fort Collins becomes pretty much the happiest place in the world because there's no traffic anywhere. At least according to my bosses at work. So, like I said, we're diving left here. And we're going to cross over the railroad tracks and hop onto the Mason Trail.
Yeah. Mason. Over to the right here.
You can see now we got an actual large path that's just for bikes. We're not sharing it with cars anymore. Pedestrians either share our lane and we go around them, or they get their own lane on these trails. So
Cut the GoPro.
really, really nice, safe way. We probably did, about 12 miles on these trails. I killed the GoPro. We skipped forward a ways. We hopped on to what the normal trails tend to look like. We're away from roads, kind of wandering through backyards, natural areas, parks, and that's what a lot of this trail is. So we did 12 miles or so on trails, and then the final 3 miles before sharing the road with cars. So the majority of our excruciatingly long day was spent on really nice, really safe trails for us. So makes it really, really nice to get around knowing that you're not fighting larger vehicles than yourself. So this is still, even though there's large open areas, we're still really near a lot of CSU stuff. So the buildings that you're seeing are all still Colorado State University buildings. There's a really large agriculture program out here, so a lot of that is what we're kind of riding through right now, these agricultural areas. Another bike trail that goes through. So like I said, bikes are really, really well respected around here, and people definitely make use of it. So we're going to skip ahead here again. This is about halfway through our trip down Mason Trail. Right now. So now we're about halfway down Mason Trail. Mason Trail comes out of the city and starts weaving through natural areas. So here we're cutting through Red-tail hawk national area or something. Red-tail national area, I can't remember, but it's a natural area that's been taken aside for red-tail hawks around here, and that's what we're kind of starting to bike through right now. We actually turn off and pick up Fossil Creek Trail in just a minute, but I think I cut this one before we start that. So this is probably about mile 10 out of 15 on the trip down there. The next clip is going to be once we've actually arrived there, because at this point in time I was very concerned about how far we still had left to go, so I conserved some battery. But yeah, so giant natural areas in a lot of these places.
Map.
Pulling out our map, figuring out where we go, grab some water, and go from there. So next place is actually at our destination. My wife is stuffing her face. I made like Thai slaw and lettuce wraps. We made Fossil Creek Reservoir. It's pretty huge. We got some mountains behind us. And yeah, gonna go for a hike here. That's the plan. Okay, yep. Alright. Yep, that's food. I made a spicy Thai peanut sauce to go with it. I forgot. Okay.
You should be recording.
Okay. What did we do to get here, Josh?
Joy wanted to ride bikes. And I said yes. And then I asked her how far it was, and she said, oh, you know, it's a little ways. She meant 15 miles. It was 15 miles. But we made it. We made it. We only bickered once. It was great. I love my wife.
And what are we about to do?
We're going to hike the Cattail Loop. Short little hike, but yeah, explore around the natural area a bit.
Is it the easiest hike in Fort Collins?
Easiest hike in Joy's book about Fort Collins hiking. So we're expecting to be dead by the end of this.
Alright. Let's go.
We gotta record the lake. Oh my goodness. That is a big bird.
Yeah.
So this is Fossil Creek Reservoir, something.
I like the way they
Fossil Natural Area Reservoir or something along those lines. Huge reservoir. Absolutely beautiful. No boats, no fishing. Entirely pretty much surrendered to the animals. There is a water reclamation facility on this, some golf courses on the far side, but for the vast majority of it, it's really been left to nature. Absolutely beautiful. If you expand, you'll see, or if you go full screen, you'll probably see all the ducks that are in here. Countless ducks. The giant bird that went through was a hawk of some kind. Beautiful area. Walk was good. We really couldn't, we didn't film it well. We didn't bring the right stuff. But on the way back, this is just a kind of a, what the path looks like, what we kind of winded or would wind through. You don't cross many streets on these paths. They actually make tunnels for most everything. So yeah, no real interaction with cars. And here we're actually going through Fossil Creek Park. So yeah, we didn't get much in the natural area. It was grassland and a giant lake. We didn't see many critters. A baby bunny. We saw a baby bunny. The film for that did not turn out good, so I didn't put that in here. But yeah, this is a lot of what you deal with on these paths, is coming through a park and stuff like that. So the reason it's called Fossil Creek, I believe, at least based on this park, is because they found a whole bunch of mammoths in it. So further down you'll see they made little kids areas out of mammoth bones, or at least replica mammoth bones. Beautiful little park. There were actually pelicans in the lake. Turtles, pelicans. We get a lot of blue herons here, so we've been seeing a lot of those. A lot more hawks and eagles than out in Michigan. I think that they do well hunting in kind of the grassland here, so I don't really know. I may have lied to you. But yeah, beautiful area. This is a fairly long little clip, and it kind of really shows how these paths meander through backyards.
Right behind you. Thank you.
Here are the bones I was talking about. This clip will actually end at the same red-tail hawk natural area that I had cut off the previous biking area, or the previous biking jaunt at. So this is us on our return. Yeah, giant park, beautiful. I don't know what else to say beyond my wife had way more energy than I did at this point in time. So here she is, way ahead of me. I'm currently dying, hating life at mile 24.
On your left.
So here we're leaving Fossil Creek Park, and we're crossing a bridge into, on the left is a natural area. So, like I said, tons of little areas set aside for nature all around here. We go through this natural area, then another homeowners association park, and then after the homeowners association park, we end back at the Redtail natural area. So we got further east here. It's probably not going to be visible in the video, but from our perspective, we can actually start to see some of the actual Rocky Mountains. Longs Peak is one that my boss pointed out to me when we went down to a client this week. Apparently it's super popular for day hiking in June and July and August. It's still fully covered in snow, so we've got these beautiful foothills all free of snow, then mountains behind it just still covered in pure white. But Longs Peak is 14,000 feet above sea level, and he kept referring to it as kind of a class 3 mountain climbing experience. I don't think we're ever going to do it, but it exists, and it's 45 minutes away from us. So Joy and I, when we were sitting looking over top of the lake, we have a map of all the peaks, so we were trying to pinpoint what peak was what, which was a fair amount of fun. We were really bad at it, but still a lot of fun. So these are the homeowners association parks, kind of right through here. Then the next tunnel we cross through, it'll be a minute or two from here, but the next tunnel is College Avenue. And College Avenue is kind of like 31 out in Holland. Really heavy traffic, but a main line through town. for the majority of College Avenue, there are no bikes allowed on it. So you kind of plan a trip around not touching College Avenue. In here we had Mason Trail and Fossil Creek Trail, so we just used a little tunnel to get past College Avenue, which was super nice. But yeah, you can see here, I look at a little creek. There's tons of these tiny little creeks running from the foothills and the mountains and stuff like that. A lot of them end up connecting into the Poudre River, either pretty near us or further on, so cool to see how it all comes together. Here's College Avenue that we're going under. And then we end back almost immediately right in the Red Tail Natural Area. And that was it. This is about mile 20 out of the 32 we rode for the day. So we have a long hike home from here, but everything went really good. Like I said, mostly trails and stuff like that. So, all right. Love you guys. That's it.
We ain't making this any longer.
All right.
Oh.
Hope you enjoyed. Talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.